What is this song about? Well, the song is actually it's kind of multi-layered. But on a really simple theme. Like the theme is basically you have your hero, you have your victim, and the hero is trying to save the victim. But it's not so much like, I called it Damsel because I wanted to have that very simple picture of the damsel in distress. Like we look at the old movies and you have the bad guy has a lady tied up and she's on the train tracks, and then the hero's supposed to rush in and save the day. And that's the classic thing that I'm trying to inspire with this song. But it's on a social scale, really. It's hard to determine who the person is in the song that's the victim and who the person is that's the hero, because it's like, on some level, we all feel like we are looked over, we are victimized, we're singled out, or we're excluded, or something like that. It's this feeling of being alienated and of being kind of cast out of society, and having to deal with that on your own and not really knowing how to. These are the thoughts that are going through the person in the video, or I'm sorry, in the song. At least right now, it's a girl, and she's personified as this girl who's basically like looking out the window. She gets ready to end her day, and she's just kind of thinking about how rough things are, and you get a little more insight in her life about how others treat her, how they kind of pass her over. They don't want anything to do with her, they don't want to deal with her drama or stories or whatever she's got going on. And it's all too common. I mean, it's such a common story that it's not even really one of those things that you would write something about, I think. But it's also so common that everybody can relate to it. So that's the feeling, that's the theme that I'm trying to really conjure up. And I think a lot of people get it right away. When you hear the song, if you're really, like if you're listening to the song and you listen to the lyrics and you're saying, I know that girl, or I am that girl, or something like that, I think it's a lot easier to put it into a character than to try to explain this social phenomenon on a broad scale. So, and then you enter the hero. It's not so much as like, it's not one of those superhero rushes in and saves the girl from the bad guy, because you have everybody who could be the hero. They're potentially the hero in the story. Anybody could be the person that takes their time out of the day to help this girl out, to listen to her problems, to talk to her, to try to be just a shoulder for her to lean on, and somebody to talk to. I don't know how many people out there don't have that person, or how many people out there have that person, but I know, like, when you got something on your chest, you really need somebody to talk to. It helps. And it's like you tend to credit the person who's listening to you for helping you, and really they're just sitting there. They're not really doing anything. They're just being there for you, and you're kind of working out your own problem. But without another person there to help you do it, it doesn't really seem possible sometimes. I mean, there are the very select few who can work through their own problems, but we are not really made for that. We're not made to be alone. So if you have another person who's there for you to listen, it's like you put a lot into that person, or you really look up to that person. They're like your hero at the time. Or that person could be the total opposite. You could be the guy who says, like, I don't have time for that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear your complaints. Get out of my face, or whatever. Whatever. You can even go as far as to antagonize a person like that and just make their problems worse, and we don't know anything about them. And that's when we become the villain of the story. So I'm trying to simplify something that in my mind is both simple and really complex. And the only way I can really do it is to personify those questions and those themes and all of those ideas, and hope that the person listening to the song relates, because I think maybe my explanation for what the song is about is longer than the actual song itself.